At the time of recording this video, the Nerf Rival line is brand spanking new, and by brand spanking new, I mean it's not officially on Target shelves around in my area, so it's super new. And already there are people wondering which blaster is the better buy, the Nerf Rival Apollo or the Nerf Rival Zeus. Now I've already done reviews on both of these blasters, and you can click the videos hovering above them to go check those out, but today I'm going to be throwing my opinion into the ring as to which blaster I think is best. Before we get into the pros and cons of each blaster, they share three similar things. That is ammo type, power, and accuracy. They both shoot balls, so there really shouldn't be any difference between the two. However, people have been weighing their ammo and have found inconsistencies in weight with the balls that come with their blasters. Some are heavier, some are lighter. Overall though, they both shoot the same ammo type, so that doesn't really matter. The second two, accuracy and power, are what Nerf is really branding this line as: super accurate and super powerful with velocities up to 100 FPS. Now, every blaster is going to shoot a little bit differently, but they have been pretty consistent as around 94 to 98 FPS, so that we're also going to count that as the same thing with no real differences. And for my shooting test, they both shoot pretty accurately. So let's dive right into it with the Nerf Rival Apollo. The Nerf Rival Apollo is the smaller of the two blasters, costing $25 compared to the Zeus's $50. It is spring powered, that uses this hook at the top in order to prime it, and it takes magazines from the bottom of the grip. Along with being cheaper, the Apollo has a much easier loading and unloading sequence. You just press a button on the back of the grip to unload your magazine, and to load, you just slide it up into it and push until you hear it click. The cons for this blaster come from the way it works on the inside, as well as this hook thing that you use to prime it back. It is very loud, is very crunchy to the point where it sounds like it's gonna break itself, and the hook gets in the way of aiming down your sights well. The way I have to use this is by kind of aiming down the side of it and then changing my shots off depending on where that ball went. Because the Apollo requires you to prime after every single shot, it has a lower rate of fire, meaning you're going to have to hit your opponent within 1 or 2 shots, especially if you are being rushed, so that is a downside. Overall, the Apollo is a nice small blaster that packs a punch, has a superior loading and unloading system, but it will require the user to time their shots better in order to hit their opponents. Now that we've gone over the Apollo, let's talk about its big brother, the Zeus, and it is a larger blaster. However, it is also very comfortable. The stock feels great, has a nice curve to it. The grip on it is very nice, even with my larger hands, and it's just a more comfortable blaster overall in my opinion. Now, because the Zeus is a flywheel blaster, it requires batteries to power it, which is both a pro and a con in itself. The pro for this is that it is using flywheels, so you get a higher rate of fire out of the blaster. However, this makes the user have to decide between, do I want to fire off the ball slowly and get a much further distance, or do I want to be able to unload the magazine for cover fire but not get as much range? So you have to kind of think about how you want to shoot this blaster. Unlike the Apollo, where you can just prime and fire and it's going to get basically the same performance every single time. Also, because it is running off of flywheels, you don't have a top prime on it, which means that it is much easier to aim down sights, and it comes with these nifty little iron sights, which is a big plus to me. And where the prime would be, you get 3 tactical rails, which is nice if you're into that kind of thing. Now, the con for it using flywheels is that it requires 6C batteries, which can get expensive. I bought 8 of them for $11.99, and that will add up over time. I know some people do not like using flywheel blasters because they require batteries, so that's why I marked it as a con for this, because not only is it more expensive over time compared to the Apollo, but it also adds a bit more weight. I don't mind the weight, but some people might think it's a little bit too heavy, though it is nicely dispersed across the blaster. And because it is a flywheel blaster that runs off of batteries and it is larger than that of the Apollo, the price tag for it is higher as well at $50, which is a mark against it. And the last marks against the Zeus come from the way you load and unload it. It is wonkier than that of the Apollo. I still haven't gotten it down. It's weird and it's just not very good. When I try and push it out like this, it likes to slide around in here. You also lose a ball up in there. And it's just not as easy. It really isn't as easy, and I still need to practice it before I get good at it. and it does not accept the Apollo's 6-round magazines, which is a definite negative. So those are the pros and cons I have found for both of these blasters. However, when it comes to which one is best, it really comes down to your playstyle. I see the Apollo as more of a blaster for those who want something small while also getting consistent performance with every shot. I also see it being used more by people who use a lighter loadout and will run more often than they will shoot. The Apollo is the one shot, one kill kind of blaster, and that's where I see it being used. As for the Zeus, I see it being used for more of a support role, the person who wants ammo capacity and the ability to just spray ammo downfield to put up cover fire. It does suffer when it comes to long shots where you have to wait for the flywheels to rev up after each time, so really I would say it's best for those who don't mind a lack of range but want to be able to just get off an entire mag within seconds. However, in my opinion, there is a best blaster when it comes to these two, and that goes to the Nerf Rival Apollo. The Apollo is the cheaper of the two while still providing really great performance. While the Apollo does have its downfalls like the really crunchy prime, the hook being in the way of aiming, and the ergonomics not being as comfortable, it is a great option to start looking into the Nerf Rival lines. So it is cheap, it gets great performance, and it is the best blaster overall in my opinion. So there you have it. That is my opinion on which blaster is best in the Rival line so far. I'm very excited to see where Nerf takes this because it is a very cool concept, and I am looking forward to what they have coming out in the future. For those of you who came to the video to get help as to which blaster they should buy first, I hope this helped you out. And for everyone watching this, have a great day wherever you are.